Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Season 2 of All Flesh Must Be Eaten. I don't really think this could be really Season 2, but this was my second story arc that I was starting with All Flesh Must Be Eaten. I was not going to even worry about this for at least a couple more months, or at least a couple more weeks, but I could not help myself. This has turned out to be, I made, I made some good characters. I had many people reach out to me and go, "Hey, Jace, how's it going?" Reach out to me and said that you made some good characters here. Even though this is just a solo play, they felt connected to some of these characters, felt connected to their story. And it's literally just one guy. I'm not even doing voices. I mean, I'm pretending to be them, but I don't, have a voice, a girl voice modulator or anything like that. And people have responded really well to these streams. So, hail, brother. So yeah, I just want to continue because we left off with Jennifer, who's this buffed out nurse right here, who's athletically built. She keeps herself healthy. We might need to get into a bit more why that is. Frank Valoy and Sasha Valoy. Frank is the young child. His life points are so far from the episode that he got shot in, and he was practically dying. He is now getting his life points are growing. Only 2 per episode, but we are already getting him back to. He's already back to 10 life points, which is just one low of halfway. So he's actually probably at this point, he would be moving around a little bit more than what he normally has been. He doesn't have much for equipment, but he does have some stuff. Shoulder bag full of candy bars, packs of gum, which is a ton in there, a backpack with some of his other stuff. He does have a cell phone, but cell phones may not be working at this time. Remember, we do have rolling blackouts going. We are, so far they're stuck on the side of the road. We left off with the last episode where these three were in a truck, and unfortunately the truck ran out of gas before they made it to the next gas station. They stopped at one gas station, but unfortunately Jennifer, she got out of the vehicle. They did not pay attention to anyone being in the vehicle, so she kept Sasha, because Sasha is still recovering from a knee injury that her ex-husband and the father of Frank gave her because he was just going crazy and not listening to anyone. It's just he was taking control of everybody. He was threatening everybody, and they were like not putting up with it. So they ended up him and another woman who is no longer here. She's MIA. Her name is Yvonne. They went and attacked him, but he managed to get one lucky shot on using his hammer to bash her knee in, and so now she is trying to heal up. So unfortunately, she's still carrying the severely injured status, but Frank's just now coming out of that where he's no longer severely injured and he is healing. But they ended up leaving Creta Ridge, Arizona, the city of Creta Ridge, Arizona, and which is now owned, which now they said belongs to the dead, who have mostly taken over the city. They ended up coming up to a town in Payson, Arizona, which is just a little bit outside of their city. And that was taken over by civilians, the remaining survivors of Payson, because Payson also now belongs mostly to dead. And they noticed that people were coming through Payson, and these civilians, these people, noticed that they were coming through their town, taking their gas. So they created a wall of cars, and they are hoarding the only gas station in there with remaining fuel. One person did not listen, and it was Nate Anger, the guy that was terrorizing these people, who was also a military man from the U.S. Army, and he thought because he was military, he had the rights to everything. Well, in Payson, we don't know how it happened off scene. That him and his platoon was overtaken by these group of survivors, and so they beheaded his team and they crucified him for trying to terrorize them in Payson, Arizona. So now they decided that Jennifer They were going to let Jennifer go because they weren't going to terrorize just one person, because they did not see Frank and Sasha in the vehicle, which is a pickup truck. And they did leave with a guy named Jeffrey Jacobson, but unfortunately he had the flu. And being out in the heat and overexhausting himself, running from infected and walkers, he ended up burning up to over 105 degrees, and he just ended up, he just had the flu. He wasn't bitten, wasn't infected, but he just ended up dying from it. His body couldn't handle it, so his heart just stopped. They did give him a burial to the best of their ability, to what they can. Wasn't anything spectacular, but they did bury him. And then they came across that same group, and they saw Nate being crucified. Well, they made Jennifer to give up all her worldly possessions, including whatever clothes she could give up without totally exposing herself to them. So she ended up losing her, what weapons she did have. She doesn't have much of any gear now. She even lost her medical equipment and stuff like that because she was trying to keep all that stuff nearby. So, but she does have, let me see here. Did she keep some medical equipment in the back of the truck? I mean, they couldn't grab a lot, but they did grab some stuff. Let me see here. We're going to ask a fake question. Did she keep some of the stuff in the back of the vehicle? Let's see. We're going to say unsure because we didn't really cover that part. She did not. So, yeah, she kept a lot of stuff on her, trying to keep Frank from, getting sick with infection and whatnot. He was probably still potentially able to have infection from his gunshot wound, but at this point, I don't think it would really matter too much. So, but I mean, he's bounced back pretty good, like kids. Sometimes kids can bounce back really quickly. So, anyway, they ended up leaving Payson, traveling east. They're trying to head to New Mexico because that is they figured at this point, because they know all of Arizona was affected by this viral outbreak. They didn't hear anything about New Mexico yet, so they're trying to head there to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to a CDC site to where they can try and figure out what this viral outbreak is. And so far, they made it just between Payson and I believe the border, Sholo, Arizona. They made it about halfway there. They're about 5 miles out from the nearest gas station, but they don't know they're that close yet. They don't know how close they really are, but what they didn't know, which they didn't see because it's getting dark, and they didn't pay attention because they were overly exhausted, was we are going to pick up where they're on the side of the road, but they find themselves out of an Arizona campground that they just happened to stop at. And there might be some supplies and stuff there as well. So, I'm pretty sure, I'm going to say it's likely that they probably have some spare clothes. She probably didn't give up anything, so we're going to say that. Did Jennifer get any spare clothes? No, I guess not. So, she barely got anything on. That's because people here are jackasses in this world now. So this is the new world after the viral outbreak. This is currently the 8th day. This is 8 days after the outbreak has happened. The world the U.S. has fallen quickly. Now we don't know if any other country has been affected, but that would be another fake question. Has other countries been affected yet? We're going to say unsure. We're going to give it 50-50. Is this some kind of script or adventure outline of the game following, or are you just living this entirely? Oh, no. This was an actual solo play that I've been testing with Mythic, the Mythic Game Master Emulator 2nd Edition. This is not pre-scripted. I just do my own stuff. And there is some role playing. I'm not gonna lie, it ain't very good because I don't have actually, I'm doing this solely, but this is it's part of the solo play. I believe I left that in the description, but I'm not 100% sure. So anytime that we ask it like an AI game master, something like that, I've been meaning to do this. I think I keep forgetting. Let me give you this real quick. Hang on one second. Kind of like that, but it's an actual book that you get. Sorry, I just stumbled in blind. No, you're good. But you know what though? You're asking some good questions here. But let me get let me actually show you, because a lot of people have actually been interested about this, and I keep saying I'm gonna put it in my my thing. Oh god, what do you call it? My descriptions, and I don't think I have, but it uses this right here. This is on drivethrurpg.com. You can go ahead and check it out. I will say that I have checked this book out. Before I bought the book, I ended up, we're going to take a little side mission here. Before I bought the book, I ended up doing, checking in and doing some research on it. And it turns out this book on two sites, I do remember seeing 2 sites, that it carries a perfect score of 5 out of 5. And I think that with one site had like 201 reviews or something like that. And like literally only 3 people gave it a 4-star while everyone else gave it a 5. And then I went to another site, everyone gave it a 5. And then I think there was one site I saw a couple people that gave it like a 3 and a 4 or 2 3s even, but the rest gave it a 5. So this is using a system that allows you to do your games GM, without a GM, and allows everyone to play. This book and system acts like a game master for you. You ask it stuff like fake questions. If you need a thing to do, you can roll for your thread list. You can roll for characters. So of course, it's stuff that you actually have to. Some of the stuff you got to fill in for yourself, but it actually helps you with that. So I actually ran. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of hooked right now because I've been able to actually play. And I'm gonna say this right now. I didn't quite check it out. I'm gonna tell you. When I heard about the Mythic Game Master emulator, I literally let me give you a bit of a testimony right here. I literally thought it was bullshit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought it was. I was like, there's no way a book can emulate being a game master. I think you'd be better with like stuff like Grok or ChatGPT. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I could not have been. That's a fair first reaction, to be honest. Yeah. What had happened? To give you a little bit of a testimony here, I wanted to do some solo play because I wanted to be. I'm what you call a forever GM, a forever game master. I don't have many people who can game master a game for me. I don't have, I'm usually, out of my entire group, I'm, the only one in there. There might be another one, but unfortunately, when they're available to host games for me, I'm not available. So we're having schedule conflicts and stuff like that. So I ended up getting this across my feed once, and I'm sitting here like, oh my god, more about Mythic. Like, I don't understand what a Game Master emulator is, And I was like a broken record. And it got to be like, okay, I'm going to check it out. So I spent, it's on sale right now for the PDF only for like $14. And I think, and this is sort of like a review because we're taking a quick minute and doing one. Yeah, I spent like $14 on it just for the PDF only on drivethrurpg.com. And then it's on there for like $50, which I think I'm going to get the print version to put on my shelf because I did end up liking this. So I decided I'm going to buy it. Well, it read like, I'm not going to lie to you, it's dry material. Very dry material. Like some GM stuff can tend to be dry. And I wasn't understanding how it was working, so I decided to look up a few people that have used it, and I came across the Grouch Couch channel that is ran by a guy named Turk, and he did it, and he used The Walking Dead. I'm a big zombie fan, he's a big zombie fan, except mine I like to do is Eden Studios. It uses the Unisystem Game Master rules, All Flesh Must Be Eaten, which actually ran from 2002 to 2013, and you can get the PDFs of this game on drivethrurpg.com too, and this allows you to make better archetypes, and they also did the Army of Darkness. So yes, I ended up doing that, and then I saw where he was using Foundry, like how I am, and he actually, there's a tool set you can get for Foundry as well. So I was like, okay, you know what? If I'm going to sit here, and I'm the type of guy that if I haven't ate General Tso's chicken, I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to tell you General Tso's chicken is gross. But I never ate it, so how do I know, right? So you can't knock something till you try it. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to keep knocking the system. I'm going to give it a try. So it read like stereo instructions, and I was like, oh, dear Lord. And then I started thinking about Beetlejuice, the first movie. But aside from that, I found Turk's channel, and I saw it, and I saw how he was using it, and I was like, okay. So I ended up getting a bunch of stuff, and I created... It is used for TTRPG solo playing journaling as well. So I even have a journal here where I refer to stuff. I put all the stuff in here. It's not all completed yet, as I'm adding stuff as I go along. And here you describe the scenes, but you're a player. All you got to do is describe the scenes for your audience and for yourself. And this is all system agnostic, which is fantastic. Yes, this can be paired with any system. He used the system Year Zero, The Walking Dead by Free League Publishing. I'm using Eden Studios, All Flesh Must Be Eaten. And we're getting ready to, and my friend here, who's also in chat, is Sparta Chris. We're getting ready to use it together with some other friends with Castles and Crusades, which will be mostly GM-less going forward. So that's what this is. So yes, I'm sort of libbing it, but I'm trying to paint a picture for you. And you're going to watch me. So anytime that you need a question answered, or if you have any questions to help fill in the scene, you do a fake question, and it allows you to set your stuff right here based on your chaos factor. Chaos factor changes all your odds and stuff like that, and it keeps going. Okay, I'm 100% on board now. Please continue. Okay. Wow, I think I just sold it to somebody. All right. So, anyway, we left, and that's why I also have pictures and character sheets. Okay, so, Jennifer, Sasha, and Frank was, as I was continuing, for those who want to skip that whole section there, you guys can, but go back. But just remember, these guys were left on the side of the road after leaving Creta Ridge, Arizona. The corruption table of spreading continues. Yes, like the game, I'm spreading the infection. Okay, so, yes, so Jennifer, what was my last question? I wrote unsure on. I rolled it. I can't remember what it was. Crap. If you guys remember what it was, please jump in here. It did say, yeah. Oh, yes, now I remember. Oh, and you only just started streaming this less than a week ago, which is why I haven't caught it before now. Yes. Oh, dude, I have been hooked. Someone rewind. All right, nope, I got it. The question is, has this reached other countries? And the answer is yes. Now we just got to figure out what kind of other, how many other countries this has reached. But we will decide that later. That is something that is off scene for right now. Like right now, let me paint this picture for you here real quick. Let me see. Is the rate so everyone woke up between about 4 and 6 in the morning. The sun is still sort of down. And are they hearing any noises? I'm going to say likely because it's dark. And it's possible. One of my threads lists. These act as potential things that are currently happening. And as actions and objectives. Panicked. Nobody trusts anybody. Well, that's clear. Let me see. Does anyone hear any voices or any moans? We're going to say likely. It's currently dark, so it's hard to see. Yes, doubles. Unexpected random event. Oh, boy. NPC action. Oh, boy. Agree. Obscurity. Agree obscurity. Huh. Let me see here. Well, agree means that, but obscurity is a state of being unknown, unclear, or difficult to understand. Okay, agree obscurity. Okay, so we are going to get an NPC here. We are going to roll. Choose again. That's because I don't have enough NPCs. This does every 5. Grace Holloway, a nurse. So we see a lady who is basically trying to... You hear someone running. And they hear her voice. They go, she's like, somebody help me, please. And they're just now waking up after about 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Not everybody was able to sleep through the night because it's been kind of uneasy, but they are sleeping with the windows up. And let's see, who all heard this? Let's find out. We're going to roll notice checks for all of them. So Jennifer, this lady's also screaming, so it won't be super hard. Jennifer didn't hear her necessarily, but she's probably still trying to wake up from being overly exhausted because she ran out of endurance points and she had no essence. Sasha heard it. Definitely Sasha heard it. And let's see, did Frank hear anything? It is kind of dark. The sun is starting to rise, but barely over the horizon at this moment. And he heard it too. They're going to probably alert Jennifer to it. So, definitely. Okay. So, what we have here, let me pull up my book here to tell you my levels of success. So, Jennifer actually failed. But Sasha and Frank did hear something. Let me just tell you my levels of success here so that you guys understand how big of success this is. And that's how this game works. If you've never played All Flesh, it works by levels of success. Alright, so they both got 4 levels of success. So Frank heard it. He's a little, a little incoherent, but it started coming that someone is outside the vehicle and is in danger. Is she possibly pounding on the vehicle asking for help? It's unsure. She could be running through the woods because we're kind of in a wooded area in Arizona. Yeah, she's pounding on the vehicle. At this point, Jennifer is waking up, and let's see our encounter list, shall we? I'm going to roll for an encounter. It's going to be 1d10. That's the question. We're trying to figure out what's chasing her. We know something. She's running from something. Something's chasing her. All right, I got a 1. It's going to be... Wow. I am in so much trouble. Well, not that much trouble. All right, so they wake up to her pounding, asking for help, screaming, going, "Someone please help me. I'm being chased." And they also notice that 4 walkers are coming out of the woods. It's a deer. A flesh-eating deer is a flesh-jumping species. Actually, yes it is. But we haven't gotten there yet, Chris, so stop ruining the game. That'll be something we're gonna... they don't really have deer in Arizona, but they do have elk. And these things are hunting. So 4 walkers are coming out as she's screaming. I think Sasha would let her in because they don't really have a whole lot of people with them right now. So Sasha's going to open up the door and let her in, and does she make it? Do they make it in before the walkers come upon them and stop them on the door? I've got 1 level of success, and we're going to roll a dexterity for them. It's going to be difficult. They don't have any other skills to be matched with that. Oh, they got it. Oh. Unfortunately, they got 2 levels of success. And since Sasha would have to scoot over, they ended up grabbing... Let's see here. They ended up grabbing... Oh, I forgot to add brawling, but that's okay. I can add 2. That's... Oh, yeah. So she's stuck in the door, and as she's doing it, they begin gnawing on her. Now, is this a... Now, the question I have to ask, because I forgot to ask this, is this a 4-door pickup truck, a truck with 4 doors, or is it just 2 doors? That means they got to let... Because Frank's in the back. Let's ask. Is it 4-door? It can go 50-50. They're out of gas. They can't even drive away. No, so it's 2-door. So Jennifer gets out and actually quickly hauls Sasha out. Sasha's probably got her crutches. Oh, damn. I'm going to spend 2 essence points to up that by 2. And then she's going to open the door for Frank. I imagine, are the walkers noticing the other people? One or two is at least munching on the nurse, who is now dead. Sadly, that is sad. She just entered the scene to just die. They are all munching. They actually grabbed her and pulled her out of the truck, and they are all eating her, distracted, giving Jennifer enough time to get Frank out. And now they all have to make a beeline for the woods. Jennifer looks at Sasha and says, "Hang on to the crutches," and she's gonna pick her up. She's gonna pick her up and haul her and say, "Give Frank your gun," which she doesn't really want to because Frank probably doesn't know anything about gun safety. He's only 14 years old, but in some states that does. So, did Frank's father teach him anything about guns? I'm going to say likely because that guy was abusive, but, he seemed like he would do the manly stuff. Exceptionally, yes. So Frank actually just grabs the gun, and she's like, "Frank, what are you doing?" He's like, "Dad taught me." I wish we would have, I could have swore I heard Dad not that long ago. And Jennifer's like, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a minute. Well, we got to get going. And they are going to head off into the woods where they're actually end up probably by sunrise. They are going to find the campground. Let's see. Do they run across the campground by accident? I'm going to say it's likely because they are near it. Well, hang on. Let me see. Would they see? There would be a sign posted. Let's see if Jennifer would see the sign. I hope to God Jennifer would see the sign. Yeah, we're going to do that. Oh, good. I finally got a good roll. Into the woods. Just avoid any houses made of candy. Yeah, okay. All right, so I got Jennifer got 4 levels of success and saw the sign, and she says, "Follow me. Just watch my back." And they begin running. Let's see. How well does she carry? We are going to at least need 1 level of success. So how good does she carry Sasha? Oh, for God's sake. I am going to spend another 2 essence points of Jennifer just to just to bump it up to, I got an 8. I need to bump it up to a 10, which is 1 level of success. So she carries, and they begin running through the woods. Let's see if the walkers who are currently eating manage to, right now they're preoccupied, so I'm going to give them a -2 to see if anyone noticed Jennifer, Sasha, and Frank running into the woods near the campground. And they did see something. They got 1 success. Let's see if I get another success here. 1 success. There's 4 of them. Let's see, how many of them saw it? Just 2, and 2 begins to follow them. So as they're being followed, Frank is probably going to see this because they're not being quiet about it. These are walkers; they don't sneak, and he does notice that they are being followed. He is going to take a quick. He is going to use the gun. He also has a baseball bat, which I didn't think about. He still has the baseball bat on him, so we're going to use the 9mm. We're gonna roll his gun fu and see how well he does. We're gonna do a dexterity roll. So they're running through the woods, and they're actually heading blindly into where they're going. But Jennifer notices that there is markers for a campground. They're just trying to get out in the open. They're not. I don't think they're really. Would they pay attention to the fact that there could be more walkers? I would say unsure because they're not sure. They're trying to just get away from them. They're not paying attention to anything. That makes sense. So I'm going to say difficult, and he doesn't have any gun skills. So he is going to try, he's not going to try and do a headshot because I don't know if he really would pay attention to that as a kid. That a headshot would do it. So he has 1 success. It's going to be towards their dexterity. Oh, and they got a natural 1 on that. Oh, which is an auto fail, but let's see how bad they fail. Okay, all right. So he did get 1 success. They're kind of stumbling over each other at the moment in the woods, and it's a pretty good easy shot. So we're gonna actually roll for damage, and he hits 1 of them. We're gonna roll a d6. Number 1 is a headshot. He hits one of their arms, that's all. And one of them takes, let's see, one bullet and semi-auto. One of them takes 24 points of damage, which actually ends up blowing off one of their arms. And they're going to keep going. Let's see if... oh, he can do another one as well. I'll allow him to do another shot because his initiative is way higher than the other ones. He failed. Let's see if I'm going to spend 5 of his essence to give me a luck die. And what a luck die does is, oh wow, I got a 10. So 16. That's 4 levels of success. And I get to multiply that. I'm going to use that success to do... Usually headshot is what you would do to call. But I think this would be pretty good for a headshot. But unfortunately, I like to play randomly. Oh, give me that 1. Oh, that's what I exactly needed. So this is going to be one grade above that. $16, it's going to be 32, and he shoots one right in the head. Alright, so the other one is kind of going to be well within range to try and grab him. Oh, 13. 3 levels of success, which means he's got to do 14 or better. But he is going to try and dodge out of the way. He's going to do one of those quick maneuvers. Let's see how well that works. And does he have anything? No, he doesn't. Fast reaction time wouldn't really work for that as well. 11. He is going. We're going to roll. We're going to spend another 5 essence points. We're going to roll another not a D6. It's supposed to be a, oh god. It's not supposed to be D6, it's supposed to be a D10. Whoops. And I got a, let's see, yep, 11 to dodge. I got a 20 to dodge. So the walker is still following us. Alright, do we make it to, as we're running through the night, and they are here, and there's probably things around that can hear the gunshot, have we made it to the campground yet? We're going to say unsure. It's possible that it's still away from the town. Or away from the road a little bit more ways. Like deep in the woods. We have not made it yet. Alright, do we hear any more noises from the woods? No. Okay, so we're being chased by just one of these things. So Frank's going to try and take another shot at this thing. He's going to do a headshot, which is a -5. I thought it was a -3, but it's a -5. So this is going to be kind of hard for him to do. But he got a 10. He got a 10. I'm going to take that. We got another 10. 13. We're still going to take that. We got a 13. So he does do another headshot. And one more bullet. And 12 points of damage to the head. And it stops that final walker. And they have... So they're no longer being chased. And they actually managed to clear the woods. Make it to a clearing where they see multiple campsites. And the sun is a little bit up. So now the sky is blue. The sun is shining. And let's get some descriptors to make sure that we know that the sun is shining and it's not raining by accident. Bravely... Okay, bravely. Peaceful. Okay, bravely is... Okay, so when I think of bravely peaceful, here's the scene. Jennifer and Sasha came out of the woods first, and they managed to find a few picnic tables and, some campfires that are not lit, like campfire pits. And Jennifer sits Sasha down, and she's like, "Where's Frank?" Sasha's freaking out. She's like, "Where's Frank? Where's Frank?" And as Jennifer sits her down, she tries to go get Frank, but before she does, Frank is already emerging from the woods, unharmed, with all his stuff and the gun. And does Frank give back the gun right away? Because he is How that would be a question. How is Frank feeling knowing that he did hear his father's voice? We need to know. Is Frank feeling okay knowing that he knows his father was around? We're going to say unlikely because Frank did have a thing for his dad. Like, he loved his dad, of course. No. He's feeling okay, but it's kind of weird. Jennifer looks and says, all right, you don't need to have that anymore. I got my hands free, and hand me back the gun. So he tries to convince him to just hand her back the gun because, you know, there's no reason for him to need it anymore. And we're going to say the charisma skill, or the charisma quality is going to play a factor in this. And she got 4 levels of success. And, you know, Frank is always told to always listen to your parents. So he handed the gun to Jennifer, and Jennifer handed it to Sasha. And they're taking a minute to catch their breath. They've only ran for a little bit, but they are each going to lose 2 endurance points each. Sasha's going to lose 1. Because that was kind of a scary moment. So they managed to find a clearing. And they're in this campground now. Is there anyone in the campground? Yes. All of a sudden, they hear voices. And these people were talking, and he's like, hey, I heard something over here. And another man came back and says, where? Over here. All right, hang on just a second. And they come out, and one, he's kind of like, he's dressed up sort of in a partial uniform for the police department. And the other one is kind of dressed in a long shirt, wearing glasses. And these gentlemen, they come out, and they see Jennifer, Sasha, and Frank. And Luke, Luke, you guys can see the names. I'm sorry. One of them, the guy that is well-dressed with partial uniform, no badge, wearing blue, he comes out and says, are you guys okay? Jennifer's like, yeah, sorry. We just got attacked. Lady was being chased off. Or being chased through the woods, and she brought some walkers or some whatever you call those things, you know, after us. We call them walkers where we're from. And does Luke call them walkers? It's likely he would, because there's a story about Luke we're about to figure out. Yes. He's like, walkers? You mean those the slow moving ones? And Jennifer's like, yeah. I take it you know something about them? It's like, well, of course. The whole world does. I mean, at this point, I think the whole world would. Guys, like, my name is Luke McCarthy. I'm former... Oh, fake question. I was hearing that as a fake question before. Oh, yep. So Luke McCarthy, the guy who's partially dressed up, he's like, my name is Luke McCarthy. I'm a former Payson. I belong to the Payson Town Police Department. Unfortunately, I think Payson is now, you know, the dead owns that. We're from just northwest of there, Cedar Ridge City. He's like, are any of you guys bitten? And they say, no, we're not bitten. We're not scratched or anything. And Luke, let's see, does Luke believe them? Let's see, Jennifer would say, no, they're not bitten. We're going to use her smooth talking and her charisma. Yes, Luke believes them. He's like, okay, all right. And Lou, I think Lou would be kind of... he's not very good with people. We're going to give him the he's a bit of an introvert, so he doesn't believe people that they say. She is a nurse after all. Right. We're going to give her the priority. So both Luke and Lou, close enough, do actually end up believing her. And he's like, I'm sorry. So Luke jumps in and says, I'm sorry. This is Lou Manley. He's a science fiction writer from Payson as well. He's like, yeah, the one time I decide that I was going to take a vacation and go outside, and here I am. You know, at the end of the world. So Jennifer and Frank are just kind of looking at each other in relief that there's other people. And, with Jennifer, what books have Lou's written? Okay. So let's get a little bit of a backstory with this. So Luke McCarthy is actually currently a Payson. He's from the town of Payson. He worked for Payson Police Department before it basically had fallen. Payson is now under control by a civilian faction known as the Aura, which are people that are going to hoard all their goods and look after each other. They're going to become isolationists. And he used to be he's a former, he did 2 tours overseas with the U.S. military, and then he retired from that and became a police officer to help protect people. And he's duty bound. He has some issues himself, but he does what he can to be a good cop. And then Lou Manley is a science fiction writer, introvert. He hates the outdoors. He hates insects. He decided that at the end of the world, he decided about a week ago to take a vacation, and during his vacation, he found himself trapped at this campground, unable to leave, because everything was under martial law. So, and now they are each at they are what you call in the the Arizona Rim Campground, is what they call it. Let's see. Let's roll on. Let me see. Where's my thing? Oh, there it is. There it is. I got so many character sheets open. So, as the sun rises and everything is peaceful, there's no signs of walkers or anything. The morning begins with Lou making what coffee he can. Actually, they probably have some resources. Did Luke and Lou have any resources? It's likely that they did because they knew that the world was ending. Exceptionally, no. They just ran out of resources. Oh, dear Lord in heaven. So, but they are going to make some coffee and stuff for everybody. So, Lou's making some coffee for Luke. And they say, Jennifer leans in as Luke hands Jennifer a cup of coffee and goes, so, were you at Payson when the world ended? He said, well, sort of. There was a report that there was an outbreak of some strange illness, and I then went on my vacation. I actually came here. I tried to go back home, but the military wouldn't let me. Of course, with their orders under martial law from the governor of Arizona, we weren't allowed to leave the campground. I'm kind of a bit of a obsessive-compulsive person. I don't know when to stop being a cop, basically. I packed some of my uniforms just to wear, so that way I could feel like I was at work, because I did not like taking any of my vacations. She's like, so Jennifer looks in and laughs and says, you're a workaholic. Yeah, sort of. So I was out here when everything happened. I mean, sort of. Like I said, I just left, and everything went down so bad. I've been trying to reach back to Payson, but no one's been answering, so I decided to stay here with Lou. And Jennifer and Sasha looks at Lou, and Frank's just sitting there, and they gave Frank some rations, because he also had some protein bars. So whatever resources they have. And they said, well, Lou, what's your story? And he's like, well, I'm an introvert with phobia of insects and wilderness issues. My therapist, as he adjusts his glasses, he said, my therapist, any family left behind in Payson? We'll get there. We'll get there. Lou said, I was writing a story and I wanted to make a story. I'm a science fiction writer. I wanted to write about a forest and whatnot, but my last book didn't sell so great because I guess I got some things wrong about flora and flowers, so I decided to come out here and experience flora and flowers for the first time, and then that's when I got trapped out here. I've been out here for 8 days. I was out here. I booked a 3-day venture, and next thing I know, I was out here for a day, and then I was really just gonna call it because I couldn't hack it. Could he have hacked it? Let's give him a willpower roll on that. Let's see here. Nothing here would apply. Nothing here would apply. So we're going to give him... we're going to give him a -3 because he doesn't like the outdoors and he hates insects and wilderness. -3 on that. Let's see. Was he freaking out after the first day? He was. I was doing some research on how flowers would respond, and then I wanted to try and make them more alien to us. So when I got trapped out here. So after my second day here, I spent one night here. I came out here in the early afternoon the day before, spent one day out here, and about noon I was getting ready to leave, but the campground didn't urge it because they said some of the cities and bigger, higher high population locations was suffering from an outbreak. So, So then I stayed here. And I've been trapped here ever since. Sasha chimes in and she's like, well, it probably saved your life, Lou, because unfortunately we've lost a lot of people coming out here. I lost my friend, my coworker, Jack Mercer, my boss, Brittany Bavera. They were people who I worked with. Probably everyone at my job. I haven't seen anyone I recognize since I've been here or been out. So Crater Ridge, a lot of people left, and Frank chimes in and says, my dad. Sasha takes a minute and looks at her son and goes, yeah, my son's father. He unfortunately did not make it. So, unfortunately, the city is now the city of the city we're from is now owned by the dead, and it seems like there's a faction over in Payson of people trying to survive, but they're doing it wrong. They ended up killing some people, but I don't think the people they took. I don't want to say they didn't deserve it, but maybe they didn't deserve that. Maybe not everyone deserved it. The world is definitely different, and it's definitely a new world. It's not what it used to be. Luke goes in and says, well, any world can be different depending on your point of view. I served, let's see, this is 2025. So Luke served, he says, I served 2 tours over in Iraq, overseas. I think I think the citizens over there looked at a different world when we were there. Probably look at it now that we're not there. Well, it's hard to believe that this is, Jennifer chimes in and goes, well, it's hard to believe that we might be the only people or the only country suffering from this illness. We haven't heard anything on the news for a while now. Did you guys? And Luke's like, well, I'm actually former military. I was able to talk to some of the military guys when they were out here. They didn't stay here for long. They stayed here for a little bit while moving into Payson and a few other places. There's been was there a rumor about Utah? There's a rumor that I made up, and I wonder if that got heard yet. Did the rumor of Utah get heard? No. So he says there's a lot of stuff going around. We're definitely not the only state that has basically suffering through this. There's multiple different states. I think 30 other different states, maybe 31 different states that are also suffering outbreaks, but that's the last I heard. We're running low on supplies, so we need to find a way to do a supply run. Does Luke or Lou, or both even, do they have any car? They should have cars out here, actually. It's likely, I'm going to say, does their cars have gas in them? I'm definitely going to say very likely and see if I, by chance, get a off chance of a no. Oh, I did get a no. What happened to their cars? Let's see here. Let's do 2 object descriptors. Ornamental communication. Ornamental communication. Oh, okay. So ornamental is serving or intended as an ornament, but communication would mean that they were using them to communicate. Okay, so their car. So I imagine with ornamental communication, because it says serving as a serving as a decoration, but we're gonna twist that word because that's kind of like a more like a fantasy thing. So the vehicles that they say actually our vehicles were turned. Well, let me show you. So Luke gestures to Jennifer to show her around the campsite. And is the campsite got a wall around it? A makeshift wall. Yes. Okay. So as they take her around the campsite, Luke takes Jennifer around the campsite a little bit, while Lou and Frank and Sasha are just sitting down having some coffee and with using what little food they have left. And Luke turns around and says, "We use the cars to end up blocking most of the dead off from this area. There was over 100 campers here when the virus struck, and some of them turned as well. Some of them got sick. We didn't know about it. It kind of snuck up on us pretty quickly." Jennifer's like, "Okay, this is why we don't have any cars. We've been using," and he shows them a site. So he shows them like a border of the cars, and he says, "Come with me for a minute." And he jumps over one car and another, and on the other side is multiple mounds of what looks to be burning fresh mounds that has a hint smell of gasoline. We used the cars, positioned them around, but we didn't have enough to probably close off that one section he came through. We figured if the dead was coming for us, we can use the cars, get in them, and just stay in there, and get out the other way. Basically, anything that would get in would come in one direction, one way in, one way out type of deal. The way out would be the way they're not coming in. So far, these things can't seem to open doors. At least they haven't yet, or whatever they are. And Jennifer's like, "So you basically made a barricade, but you're on the one side of it, and if a bunch of them, like a horde, and believe me, I've seen a lot of them before. They're like herds and hordes of like animals. They come in from one direction. You can leave out one direction, but they can only come in one direction." And Luke's like, "Exactly." And by the time if they don't go through the vehicles, they have to go completely around, which gives us enough time to get away for at least the slow moving ones. The fast moving ones, the infected. I heard some of the taglines the military gave some of these things before communication was lost. Jennifer's like, "That's kind of smart. You basically funnel everything in, so if the campsite gets overran, they either climb over the cars, or they go in the cars, or they just stay here. Gives you enough time to get away in the wilderness." Yep. So the only thing you got to worry about is the wolves. Well, that's the other issue. And Jennifer's like, "What do you mean?" Well, I don't know what else you know, but let me show you something else. And he takes her to another mound, and in the mound, she sees. Does Arizona have wolves? Yes. Yes. So he takes her to a mound of what looks to be dead dogs. A pile of dead dogs. And she's like, these are wolves. Did you guys hunt them? He's like, no. The virus actually cross-infected into another species. These wolves were rotting flesh. They must have got a hold of some infected flesh, infected meat, ate it, died, and then they turned as well. And Jennifer's like, wait a second, this virus can affect other animals? So far, mammals, yes. As far as we've seen mammals. We haven't seen anything as far as strange insects. And how does Jennifer take this? This is kind of scary because now you're not just running from humanoid corpses, you're running from animals as well. I'm gonna give her a willpower save. Let's see here. She's not easily scared. But she does have nerves of steel, so that does play a factor. So let's see here. Oh, she's not that easily scared. Okay. She's like, well, we need to let Sasha and Frigg know. Because wolves are, if I'm not mistaken, does she know much about wolves and animals? That would be a knowledge check. I'm going to do her intelligence. She does not. She's like, well, I'm guessing they're quick on their feet. So, we need to be careful. And Luke's like, yes, absolutely. I'm running low on some ammunition because I brought some out here. I wasn't planning on doing any hunting, but then the thing started hunting me. So, strange how that works out. And Jennifer laughs a little bit, kind of smirks. She's like, yeah, strange on how all this works out. So they begin walking back to the campsite, and if you guys remember, we left Lou and Sasha and Frank at the campsite together. And Sasha looks at Lou and goes, what books have you written? And I'm going to come up with like some naming titles here. The first book he's written Animal Tie. He's like, well, I wrote the science fiction book of the Wolfmen from Tar. Tar was a planet that had these people who actually looked like wolves. They actually had starships, and they actually crash landed on Earth and began hunting humans until they found them, and, gotta read the book. Wasn't any good. Didn't make the bestseller. Didn't even break the top 50. Not even in Arizona, let alone the world. Any others? He's like, well, yeah, just two more that I actually hold dear to me. I actually wrote the Universal writer of Core from the Core. His name was Corvée, and he was this space writer who could travel from planet to planet, and he had many types of adventures. I was trying to make that into a adventure novel, but unfortunately, that my publisher said no after the first book, because the first book sucked. And my last book, which I did finish all of them, but I think we actually ended up having a bit of an issue with. Now that I heard what happened to Payson, she's like, what do you mean? The Aura was an alien race that I put in a book. And you said that there were people who went by a faction name called the Aura back in Payson. I made #1 bestseller in Payson and #2 bestseller in Arizona, but unfortunately not much else. Sasha kind of says, well, I didn't get a chance to read much. I worked for OD Technology Incorporated. Unfortunately, my job dominated my life. My ex-husband was, and I didn't agree on things. So, Frank turns around and says, yeah, so let's talk about the fact that I heard Dad's voice, and I could have swore I woke up and Dad was there. Can we talk about Dad? And Sasha turns around and says, we will in private. And she's like, and Frank's like, what happened to my dad? And she's going to give him a look of, we'll talk later. We're going to give him smooth talking. And let's see here. It succeeds. Frank stops for a minute. Is Frank angry? Let's see if Frank's angry at the moment. Frank is not angry. Okay. Frank just stops talking, and Lou's like, I take it you guys just didn't agree on things. And Sasha says, no, we didn't. We didn't agree on much of anything. And of course, my son doesn't understand that. Or maybe he does, and he thinks everything's his fault. Could be a number of things. A lot of things happen during divorce with kids. And Lou turns around and says, oh, yeah, but you can't always blame yourself. It's a two-way street. Would Lou know that? He is a very intelligent person. He could have researched marriage stuff before. And he does have a photographic memory, so if he did research it, I'm definitely going to give him a call on that. Oh, I got a 1, which still comes out to an 11. So that still succeeds. I'm going to roll again and see if that goes lower or higher. Or 1 success. He's like, I actually, when I was taking creative writing courses, I took psychology. Lou adjusted his glasses and stuff, and he's like, I have all these notes that sometimes during divorce, kids, they psychologically think that everything is their fault, especially depending teenagers, given their hormones and way of thinking, that's why their parents didn't make it. So Lou could be a child. Oh, is Lou a child of divorced parents? That is a good question. I'm gonna say 50-50. Exceptionally, no. No, he is not. Did he have a single parent, though? Exceptionally, no. Was it a loving home? I'm going to say likely because everything else was exceptional, no. No, it wasn't a loving home. Was his dad abusive? I'm going to say likely because this doesn't make any sense if we don't get at least a yes. No. Is Lou an orphan? I'll say very likely. Lou's like, my parents died in a car accident when I was a kid. I was raised by foster parents. And unfortunately, they weren't as loving or as nurturing as I feel that real parents would have been. Lou begins recounting things of his past, and I'm gonna play a little bit of a song here. And he's like, when I was I didn't really know my parents. They left me a while ago. I was but a baby, and they ended up leaving me with my grandparents, who eventually they both passed on at a very young age. I was then awarded to the state because I don't know. I only went with one set of grandparents. I'm not sure what happened to the others. I don't know much about my family, as I should. I just seem to always have bad luck around, it feels like. The one time I decided to leave and go out into the world, and that's kind of why I'm shut in. Why I hate being outdoors. Wilderness. It's like the moment I came out here is the moment when the world changed and I wasn't allowed to leave or go back home or feel safe ever again. I've got so many issues. Sasha turns around and says, well, you need to get over yourself, because I'm going to tell you this right now. I've met a lot of people just before. There should be music. You should be able to hear it, Chris. Just got to listen very closely. If I need to, I can turn it up a little bit more. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Alright, yep, I just had to turn up my OBS control. So, Sasha's like, I met a lot of people, and I'm going to tell you this right now. This world isn't for the faint of heart. And if you don't get it together, Lou, you're not going to make it. And I'm not trying to be mean. But you need to understand, I've met people who could make hard decisions, and they didn't make it. I met people who were strong, and they didn't make it. I met people who were weak, and they definitely didn't make it. I'm lucky to have made it with even my son. We've lost so many people. My first person that I lost, his name was Jack Mercer. And he saved me. But he wasn't strong enough to make it for himself, and unfortunately he suffered a brutal death. Let's see if Lou wants to continue this story. I'm gonna give him the introvert drawback and see if maybe she might have accidentally scared the crap out of him. No, he's not scared. He's like, how did he die? Jack went catatonic and froze. And I put him in the back seat and with my son, and I drove to a mechanic shop. His name was Clyde Mathers. He too was weak, and he couldn't fathom leaving his mechanic shop for anything, so he stayed behind. And like I said, Cedar Ridge, there isn't much left of it. Safety there was definitely compromised. As I got my son to safety, I went back to get Jack, but by then a gang of looters got out and they thought he was turning, so to stop it, they began beating him to death. And they broke his arms, legs, they broke his chest cavity. We heard bone crunching. And eventually we saw blood coming out of his mouth. But before they finished the job, and as he was dying slow and painful, a group of walkers came out and ate them. And him. Lou stays still for a moment, and he's like, oh. Yeah. And I saw some horrifying things. I kept my boy from seeing it. So. Suddenly, Luke and Jennifer comes back into the campground and goes, Jennifer sits down and looks over the bandages of the knee, and she's gonna do with what little resources she does have. She is gonna look over and make sure the knee is still nice and tight from that injury. So she's gonna do a science biology roll, and we're gonna leave it at that. Ooh. Yes, I got, when she was looking her over, I got 5 levels of success, and she says, oh my god, this is nice. From what I could tell, nothing's broken. Much as just, he must have hit you really hard with the hammer, and it must have just sprang itself instead of breaking it. I'm going to say this, Sasha, you're pretty lucky. A hit like that, it'd definitely be broken. She's like, yeah, I was feeling a little bit better. And of course, yeah, it's already popped into place. She just moves it around and she's like, here, take some of these, and she pulls out some painkillers and hands a bottle of water to to Sasha. Lou looked at Luke and said, "Where'd you take her?" I showed her the mountains of bodies, reason why that we don't have a car available, and showed her the wolves as well. And Sasha turns around and goes, "Wolves? What do you mean?" Jennifer says, "Well, according to Luke, they encountered some wolves that were aggressive and, well, from what I could tell, they smelled really bad too, and they didn't look normal, even after they were burned. Even if they weren't burned, I can't imagine they looked normal, but he said that they were rotting flesh, and that they must have grabbed some infected flesh and ate it by accident, but turns out the virus, it can cross species. And yeah, we have more out here to worry about, more predators to worry about than just the normal ones that we've been running from." And Sasha's got nerves of steel, so we're gonna see how well she takes that information, because that is kind of scary to take in. Oh well, she only failed once. So on the fear table, nope, she failed twice over. So, well, she can't really run, but she's gonna lose 2 essence points because she failed that roll, so she's gonna lose 2. Out of that, and she would have lost 2 regardless, so nothing bad, but she begins freaking out. She's like, "Wait a minute, are you meaning to tell me that we're dealing with infected wolves too, like infected animals?" And Jennifer says, sadly, yes. And she's like, "We didn't hear anything about that on the news." And like, what would the CDC know? And Luke turns around and says, "I think the CDC was only concerned about what was going on inside the towns. But I mean, if you guys didn't have much of an animal population, or even if you did, given Crater Ridge is a big city, I don't know. I mean, did you guys? I mean, like I said, I'm just showing you guys the evidence that I have. That's all." Would the virus affect animals differently than humans, or just the same side effects? Not 100% sure yet. That would be something that we would have to figure out. But it's kind of like, think of it like Resident Evil, the crazy zombie Rottweilers. Maybe there would be different. Maybe it would cause a mutation. All right, so we are definitely going to, let's see here. I'm going to roll for a random event. NPC action. Reward. Possession. NPC action. Reward possession. I'm trying to think of what that would be. It would be an NPC that basically will reward. Let's see here. Reward NPC action, reward action. Now that these guys are actually here, they're all PCs. So, is there another NPC nearby? Let's see here. Karen Holt. Okay, all right. Let's see here. I'm trying to think. How would this come into scene? Let's pull an event focus. So she when she comes in, NPC action. Oh, we got NPC action regardless. Okay, so Karen Holt enters the scene. I'm just trying to think how she enters the scene. Do we hear any? Is there any noises heard, or does she just stumble into? I guess does she just stumble into camp? Yes. Okay. So suddenly, out of the blue, they hear rustling in the bushes, and Sasha, of course, freaks out for Frank, who I can't find Frank's character sheet. But we'll just close these up here because I got too many of them open. So Sasha looks around for Frank and brings him close, while Jennifer takes a gun from Sasha, and Luke takes his out And suddenly they see a, let's see, what does this nurse look like? Let's get some looks on this nurse, shall we? Let's get some description. Oh, no, I need appearances. There we go. Let's do that. There we go. Expensive. Oh, so she's an intense. Okay, so she's coming out and she is sweating, wearing some expensive nurse's outfit. I think she's just running, and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was just trying to find some safety, and I heard voices, and I came over here. My name's Karen Holt. I'm from Payson." And suddenly Luke does Luke recognize her? Because if she's from Payson, Luke or Lou should recognize her. I'll give it 50-50. Yes, Luke turns around and says, "Karen." Now, wait a minute. We have here in his description that he was divorced. Did Karen and Luke, were they divorced? Did Karen and Luke divorce each other? I'm going to say unsure. That'll leave another NPC role there. Yes. And she goes, "Luke, what are you doing out here? I thought when all the law enforcement fell in Payson, I was sure you were gone. I didn't hear from you." He's like, "I've been stuck out here." And not much for cell phone signal. She's like, "Yeah, well, Payson is now under control from a group of people known as the Aura. I barely escaped. I've been wandering for..." How many days has she been wandering for? I'm going to roll a D8. When did she leave Payson? She left Payson 6 days ago. She's been wandering in the woods for 6 days. Does she have any supplies? It'd be likely, because it's barely that she could, unless she knows how to survive. I'm going to say likely for supplies. No, she doesn't have any supplies. So she has to have wilderness training? I'm going to say likely for that. Exceptionally, no. She's not wilderness trained? Is there a potential threat nearby that has not yet entered the scene? I'm going to say likely, because it's strange that she's survived 6 days out here. No. Does she have a camp nearby? I'm going to say very likely. I got to start upping that, because we keep getting a lot of no's here. Exceptionally, yes. Okay. She's like, "I left, she ate the supplies on the way." Yeah. So Karen said, "Well, I've actually been out here for 6 days, and I actually have a camp not far from here. Is it within, see, for her to be close and hearing voices, but not hearing voices for some days, I would say, is it within 10 miles? No. Is it within 5 miles? Yes. So she's been nearby and no one's noticed. NPC negative. Uh-oh. Combine. Completion. Did she come out here with other survivors? No. Did she come out here alone? Exceptionally, no. There's something. Okay, so when I got an NPC negative, a combined completion, which means she has a camp that's in within 5 miles. She has not noticed. Was she kidnapped, and is she running from them? That's the question. I'm gonna say likely. Because she's out here by herself. The question is why? And she is from Payson, so she knows what's going on. Or no, she doesn't, because she left after day 2. That group was just newly formed. So, is there something else? There's got to be something else chasing her. Exceptionally, yes. Okay. All right. So she was kidnapped. Maybe she has gone. Has some other type of secret life thing going on that we'll learn about later. Yeah, it does seem like that is the issue. It doesn't say that there's any immediate threat. So Karen turns around and says, I've been out here for days, 6 days. I ran out of supplies, and then I hear a voice, and I've just been over here. And she gives a description of where she's been. Let's see here. She's going to describe her campsite. We're going to get two location descriptors. Fortunate. Oh, fortunate. Personal. So Luke turns around and goes, you were at your family's cabin. Wait, is it her family's cabin? Let's see here. I'm going to say unsure. Because if it's not her family's cabin, it's... No, I was at the cabin. You were at the cabin. You were at the lake house? Yes. The lake house you took in the divorce? Yes. I'm surprised you didn't go there. I'm like, well, you took it in the divorce. I have no rights to it. She's like, oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that. So, maybe, yeah, she got the cabin in the, she did, I didn't even, Gus, I just saw that, and, yeah, I decided to go that route. That's where my head was going. So, and you see, that's the thing about Mythic. When you have an idea, just roll with it. Just keep describing it to yourself and describe it to your audience, like, with what I'm doing, I'm describing it to you guys. Just roll with it. That's part of the journaling process. So, yeah, just roll with it, and that's what we're doing. We're sticking to it. And, she, he's like, I figured you'd probably be at work since you're a nurse and the hospitals would have been overwhelmed. Oh, they were, but she's like, I left. Unfortunately, I couldn't handle it. So. But the cabin has no food in it or anything, so I've been kind of out looking, and then I heard voices, and I came across you and you guys. And she looks at Sasha and Jennifer, and notice that Jennifer is also a nurse. And she's like, are you from... she looks at Jennifer, or said, I don't recognize you. She's like, I'm not from Payson. I'm from Creta Ridge. I was working at one of the hospitals there when the outbreak happened. And she's like, okay. Yeah, I heard Creta Ridge is, well, just like everything else, just no more, right? And Jennifer said, yeah, pretty much. I've been taking care of, I've been helping out with Sasha here and her son Frank. So, it's just been rough. She's like, I no doubt. Do you guys have any resources? And they're like, no. And Sasha's not in a car, so she doesn't have a vehicle. But she's out on foot looking for supplies. Wait, does she have a car? She's just on foot because she can't go to any city. Let's see here. No, she doesn't have a car. And she goes, Luke turns around because they did win. She did get a car. She did have a car when they got divorced. And he's like, what happened to the vehicle? Ran out of gas and been stuck out here. What's your guys' excuse? And Luke turns around and says, well, I made a barricade to help protect and try to keep an eye out one way, which is pretty much the opening you guys came in. And Jennifer kind of marvels at that. Like, every location that they keep entering the campground is the one way in. The only way in out of this, barricade. And so far, it's proven to have worked. And Jennifer is kind of impressed by that. She's like, great, so I came all the way out here, and I heard voices, and nobody has any food. How long has it been since she has eaten? She's been out here for 6 days. She ran out of food 3 days ago, so it's been 3 days, so she's actually starving. So... Alright, so... How is, we gotta figure out, let's see here, see if I roll on a scene adjust. Make 2 adjustments, scene alteration. Because at this point, we're kind of stalling here. An eruption event. Okay, so scene was an eruption. Introduce new NPC. Uh-oh. Defend. Oh, no. Tension. Okay. And then we're going to do another scene adjust. Scene was altered from that. Let's roll on an encounter table, shall we? I'm going to roll a d10. So it was altered from that. Oh boy, this is where things are going to get kind of hanky here. Alright, and I got what was my encounter table? It was a 6. Oh, wow. Okay. Seven. Okay, I'm going to roll another d10. 6. We're going to say 7 on 7. Okay, so from a distance, do they hear gunfire? I'm going to say likely. No. Do they hear screaming and yelling? No. Okay. We're going to introduce a new NPC here. And roll to see if I... Crazy Linda! Crazy Linda! Wait, how did she get out here? I'll be right back. Let's take a 5-minute... Do they hear an ice cream truck jingle? You know what's funny? I don't know if you saw that, Gus, but that was... wow, Crazy Linda! LOL. Do they hear an ice cream truck? I'm going to say likely on that one because you're the second person that brought this up last stream. That was Chris's, part of Chris's biggest thing. So I'm going to say likely. Yes! They hear an ice cream truck jingle. Let's take a 5-minute break. I'll be right back. I got to use the restroom and then we will hash out this scene. But Crazy Linda's back! Alright, welcome back everybody. That wasn't quite 5 minutes, but so Crazy Linda is not an NPC, but I kept her on the list because she was one of the 4 characters that went MIA. If you guys want to see what happened, watch the previous episode, but we will probably do a little bit of recap because everyone's going to be shocked to see her. And she's driving, and so they hear an ice cream truck jingle. And this is what Crazy Linda looks like right here. She was a homeless person. Surprised that she's able to drive. So they hear an ice cream truck jingle, and everyone's like, "Wait a minute, what is that?" And let's see. Hang on. Let me make sure that we do this right. I'm gonna make everyone roll a perception check to see if they notice. And I'm gonna roll a D10. See what's the likelihood of her noticing. Okay, Karen would notice. Lou. Lou would notice. He got a success. Let's see here. Luke would definitely notice. He's got, that was like, I think 4 levels of success. Yep, that was. So far, everyone's noticing. So we got 1 success, 4 levels of success. That's like 7 levels. That's another success, so 8 levels. We're going to turn this into a combined effort to put everyone part of it. It's a teamwork effort. That's how I run teamwork, is you just combine the levels of successes. You don't combine the numerical value, just the levels. So no matter what, she didn't hear it, but that's 1 failure, so 7 levels of success. And Frank. And he heard it. So everyone heard. So we got 8 levels of success easily. So everyone heard is hearing this ice cream truck jingle. I wish I had an ice cream truck jingle. And everyone's like, "Where's that coming from?" And Luke's like, "That sounds like somebody is driving the vehicle through the path, because there is a path. This is like a campground, so you actually have to go through when you register the campground. If I remember correctly, that you have to go through the ranger station. I wonder how well she's driving that vehicle. Being crazy and all. She doesn't have a drive, so let's see how well this works. It's just sprinkles. She's driving well. She got 2 levels of success. So she's driving carefully down this path. And as she is, they're also hearing other vehicles. There's like multiple other vehicles, and they all like come up and line right up on like where the entryway, where the so imagine the cars are surrounding this area. There's a path that comes right in there. That's where Luke was setting up this barricade, and that's why they're staying inside the barricade, because it's leading everything in. And multiple vehicles actually come to a stop, and like 14 people plus Linda get out. And these are 14 survivors. And these guys don't... Let's see. Do they appear hostile? I'm going to say unlikely. They could just be survivors leaving towns. Exceptionally, no. No, they are not. They do not appear hostile. And I got to exceptionally no, so they're not hostile. Wow. And when everyone is crazy, the normies become the crazies, and the crazies become normal. And everybody gets out, and Linda gets out, and everyone like Sasha, Frank, and Jennifer used to take care of Linda. She remembers from the hospital, and Jennifer was like, "Oh my God!" And Sasha's even looking like, "Linda?" And Linda's like, "Hey everybody, did you guys miss me?" The voices stopped talking, so I kind of ended up leaving. So I figured they left, and and she's probably been well rested. So we're gonna put her back to 29 endurance points. I forgot to bring her up. She's like, "They just stopped talking to me, so I was alone, and before I knew it, you guys were gone." And Sasha's like, "Yeah, we were trying to get you to leave, but you said you weren't leaving. That was when the infected were trying to break down the barricades in the hospital." And you just sat there. She's like, well, they weren't going to hurt me. I told you. You know, it just depends on how you look at them. They're people too. And even if they're not, are they... I mean, let's face it. Who really is the Walking Dead? And Linda is a bit delusional, and she's like, just some things you got to think about. So Luke's like, are all these guys survivors? And she's like, oh, these guys? Yeah, they saw me going with this ice cream truck. Is the ice cream truck full of ice cream? I want to know that. I'm going to say likely. Yes. Does the freezer still work? I'm going to say unsure. It could be melted ice cream. No. The freezer's melted. So they open up the freezers to see if there's any food inside, and it's just all melted old packs of ice cream just built out. Is it refrozen, or is it refrozen? Like melted and then refrozen, like maybe the compressor broke? No, it's literally just milkshake, and it probably stinks. Like, yeah, it stinks to hell. So they're like, ugh. And Luke's like, well, we could clean it out, make it a safe place, and make it into a bed. It's just going to take some time and resources. And did anyone bring any resources with them? I'm going to say unsure, 50-50. They're probably starting to starve. No one brought any resources. But they have working vehicles. So we're not at a complete loss. So at this point, people are just whole families. There's probably families here. Let's see. Is there a? Let's see. Let's take Linda off the list. Let's see if we can roll. Let's see if we can find. There's a bunch of other people that. Karen Holt is there. So we are going to add Karen to the journal. She's an NPC journal. So let's see here. Let's get our NPC support here real quick. Passed away. Okay, so he passed away due to bird flu. So these guys are gone. All right, so let's see here. Karen Holt. Nurse. Let's just do it down here. Let's see. Nurse. Divorced. Luke McCarthy. High maintenance. Loves money. Took cabin and divorce. Cannot survive in the wild. Some key factors about her so far kind of useless. All right, there we go. So unless I decide to make her into a character, there we go. All right, let's see if there's at least another member or two here. We're gonna take Angela Cortez, and she's got two kids. There's two kids. These are Angela's kids, but we'll see if we get a roll. We'll roll those again. So let's see here. Let's roll on one or two more NPCs. Pastor. So a guy comes out. His name is Pastor Elwood. He is a man of faith, charismatic, physically frail because he is currently 100 years old and still is in servitude to the Almighty God. And then Darnell Price, a security guard, the mall cop that comes out, and yeah, okay, all right. So we've got our NPCs. We'll add them to the list as well. And there's so we've got at least two NPCs out of the whole party. So the other 12 is just whole families and whatnot. So there's definitely people to take care of. And Luke is looking around at everybody and is like, well, if they found this place, it's going to be a matter of time before the infected do. I have no idea what to do, and everyone's kind of just looking around. I think everyone's just kind of stalled at the moment because now more people are coming, and that means more mouths to feed, and no one's got any resources or any food. I'm gonna roll for a random event, see if I can get something coming here. Nothing major. So PC negative. Usurp. Physical. Usurp physical. So usurp means to take over or to take from. I'm actually going to double check that. Yeah, basically, take illegally or by force a position open. Huh. Usurp physical. We are going to roll, I'm going to roll an appearance of someone. This is going to be... So this guy comes out, and he's kind of muscular. He's a very mature-looking man. He comes out and says, "You, are you the leader here?" And he's like, "Yes, I'm Luke McCarthy. I work for the Payson Police Department." And he turns around and says, "Well, not anymore. You don't. And I take it this is your group?" He's like, "Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, we've all kind of just found each other today. So, I mean, I've been out here for a little bit running the show." And he's like, "Well, you don't now. I'm going to take it from here." And he said, "With all due respect, who the hell are you?" And we're going to roll for an identity on this guy. I think he might be a soldier. Ruler. So, I mean, he's a leader. I got ruler. Oh, he's a leader. He's a military man. He's like, let's see here. Yeah, we're going to say he's a sergeant. He's like, "I'm sergeant of a platoon. Unfortunately," and no, it's not Nate Anger. He's not coming back from the dead. All right, you have a good one. Thank you for coming in, Justin. So he's like, "I'm a sergeant of the U.S. military and U.S. Army, and hate to break it to you, but you might be a police officer. Unfortunately, Luke, or Officer, what'd you say your name was?" I said, "I'm Luke McCarthy." He's like, "Officer McCarthy, unfortunately, I outrank you." And Luke turns around and goes, "Well, I hate to break it to you, but there's no more... Right now, there's no more military." And is he the only military person here? So he's like another person, part of this group. So he's out of the 12. He's one of the military. Is there another military person? Exceptionally, no, he's the only one. He's like, "I'm the guy taking care of this group over here. You see everyone that made it? I saved them. Which means I'm more than qualified to run this camp. And I'm taking it over." How does Luke feel about that? Is Luke going to let him take it over? He's going to have Nerves of Steel notice. Yeah, so no, we're going to add Nerves of Steel to this. He's like, "With all due respect, there's no more military." "And what do you mean you're taking it over?" Like, he's like, Did they scout the area before they showed up? Let's find out. I'm going to say unsure. Yes, they did. "I scouted this area. I see that you set up a barricade. You've made camp for yourself and this one other person. And then I figured, and we saw a vehicle that had some of those walkers near them. We took care of them. Sadly, a lady, there was a nurse there that was eaten. And yeah, we saw this camp. Decided to come here. We're gonna take this. We're gonna take it. We saw your setup here, so you can stay here if you want, but you're gonna follow my rules." And Luke's like, "With all due respect, sir, there are no rules, and no, I'm not. Son, I'm gonna give you one chance to walk away." And everyone's just kind of looking at Luke, and Luke's not backing down at all. And even Jennifer is sitting here like, how does Jennifer feel about this? Like, she's had this before. Men just try to take over. I'm going to say her nerves of steel is going to play a factor as well. Okay. How does everyone else feel? Does he have any votes behind him to take over? I think it would be unsure because he might be kind of ruling them with an iron fist. No. No, actually. So no one who he's brought here is plans on backing him. And Luke says, "Do you speak for everyone here?" He's like, "Yes, I do." And everyone's kind of shaking their legs. They're looking kind of scared. And even Jennifer's noticing. And she turns around and says, "Actually, this is our camp, and you are a guest here. And if you want to be helpful, that's fine, but you're not just going to take control of the situation." And he turns and he looks and he says, "I'm sorry, little miss, but me and the gentleman over here is talking. I'm not talking to you." Ooh, I think that would anger her. Let's see if she would punch the shit out. I'm going to roll a will save to see if she would punch the shit out of his ass just for that. Jen just needs to punch him. Yeah, I'm voting for that too, but I'm going to say, oh, I mean, she's cool and collected. She's just smiling. And she said, "You just call me little miss. And, you got a problem with that? You think because you got muscles, you're still a nurse? I am the authority figure here." And Luke turns around and says, "No, you're actually not. Is this what the world comes to? You know, you think you're just going to take over? And from what I understand, these people don't seem like they really like you too much." Luke turns around and says, "I saved all of you. He looks around and says, "I saved all of you. You guys tell them that I'm, here to help you, but I need control of this area." And not one person does it. They're not backing him whatsoever. And Jennifer and Luke turns around and says, "Well, it looks like you're out on this stick. So you either calm down, shut the hell up, or get behind us, or you leave." And Jen's gonna roll her. She doesn't have an intimidation factor, but she's gonna try the smooth talking. Charisma doesn't really play a factor, so we're gonna roll this. Ooh. Oh, 18. So 5 levels of success. He turns around. He says, "You're all going to regret this one day." And Luke grabs out his Glock and he says, "Friend, I think it's time for you to leave. You can get in one of these vehicles." See, 14 people with an ice cream truck. Is there any trucks among these vehicles? I'm going to say likely. No. Are they all cars? I'm going to say likely. Exceptionally, yes, they're all cars. He's like, you can take any one of these cars that you want. So 14 people, 5 in each car. There's at least 3 cars he probably drove himself. I'm going to say, is there at least 5 cars? I'm going to say likely. If not, there's at least 4. 4 is the minimum. Exceptionally, yes, there is 5. No, actually, there's even better. There's 10. So that way they're not cramped. There's even is there a bus among them? I'm going to say unsure about the bus. Exceptionally, yes. So there's 8 cars and 2 buses. He's like, "I'll tell you what. I'll even be so nice to give you the ice cream truck. You get in that ice cream truck and you drive away. If I ever see it around here, that'll be your only and one warning." And the sergeant looks at him and says, "You're going to regret this." And he's like, "Please don't make me. Please do not make me regret this." And I'm going to roll his nerves of steel. He has to at least get 2 or more successes. Oh, yeah, he did. He's like, just don't make me regret this. And he goes and he looks at Crazy Linda, and she's just like dancing to herself, smiling. And as she gets in the vehicle, she says, "Oh, I was wondering when someone was going to finally take out the trash." And he gets in and he drives away with the jingle playing. And Luke follows the truck a little bit on foot just to make sure that it makes it off the road. So they begin finding the other vehicles, and Luke, at this point now, they have basically got to make a plan for what's going on. We are gonna, I'm gonna say mysterious. We're gonna leave it in the journal here. Let's see here. Support NPC. We are gonna say controlling sergeant. He didn't even give his name. It's gonna be a nameless NPC. Might be back. We will see. And I'm going to put him on the NPC list as well as a potential possibility. So here we go here. I'm going to open that one up and let's make Casey's a bit of an issue. Okay. Update table. All right, sweet. Let's see. Okay, good. Pastor Elwood is here. So I've definitely got to get him in, and Darnell Price. I'm going to put them on the list as well. Make sure they make it on the journal list too. They might become major characters. We don't know. And Darnell Price. All right. So there's no food among them. They've got to figure this out. And they got to come up with a plan. Sasha, Jennifer, and Frank's plan is originally going to Albuquerque. Let's see. Is there any rumors? Let's see here. Do they hear any rumors or anything about the news? If they turn on a radio, is the radio playing? Anyone maybe broadcasting a radio station? Yes. Let's see here. So, is it... Let me see here. Survivors. Well, we definitely found some. Let me check this instead of rolling for it. Let's see. Let's check our threads list here. The Horde. Oh, okay. There's a radio broadcast. Is it the emergency loop? There's that. And there's nothing else at the moment. Is it the emergency loop? I'm gonna say that's very likely. So, exceptionally, yes. So they don't hear any news, but they do hear a rumor that, let's see here. The rumor is, let me go back to my journal. Day 8 to 10. So the rumor is the infection doesn't spread if you burn the bodies fast enough. That's what Luke was told days ago. He's like, yeah, so Jennifer, as they're getting everyone settled in, trying to get encampment set up, they do have a couple other vehicles they can try and maybe close in the barricade a little bit, making it harder for things to cross. And Jennifer asks Luke, so why do you burn the bodies? He's like, why else? Sterilization. If you burn the bodies, I was hoping it would slow the infection. I was hoping for something, but I'm not 100% sure what really good I did. Jennifer's like, yeah. Sasha turns around and says, well, there's nothing on the news. It's still the emergency broadcast alert. Sometimes it's playing, sometimes it's not. Not all stations are doing it. Jennifer's like, yeah, I think we've pretty much... It's hard to say. Well, we do have a couple... Sasha turns around and says, well, we do have a couple vehicles. We could head to Albuquerque. And Jennifer's like, yeah, but without any food, we could be lasting for days. Meanwhile, is Karen still here? It's likely she's still here at the moment. Because if not, she's got to walk back to her cabin. Yes. Karen's like, so are you guys just going to set up camp here? And Luke's like, well, where else are we supposed to go? Are you going to share your cabin? Does she at least think about sharing the cabin for all the survivors? Yes. She's like, well, I mean, the world is pretty much ended. Why don't you guys just come back to the cabin? Instead of staying out here. We got buses. Does Karen and Luke have kids? They do not. They actually had no kids. Did they not have any kids because one of them is sterilized? Like, basically can't produce. No, they could both produce. Okay. For some reason, they didn't have any kids. Did she miscarry? No, she never miscarried. They just never had any kids. Huh. Alright, so Karen's like, it's the end of the world, and I really could use the assistance. I don't know what I'm going to do out here by myself. And Sasha's like, it'd be safer. We'd have room. How big is it? We need to figure out how big the cabin would be, but we will figure that out in a bit. So Luke's like, well, if we got 2 buses and 8 cars, and it's only 5 miles in that direction, we'd be less exposed. Definitely be safer. What did I do with Lou? I think Lou's right there. And definitely be able to figure out where to go from here. So let's do it. So they decide that they are all heading to the cabin. They load up even with their other survivors. So they are here with. So we got some nameless NPCs. I got to put that in the journal. We've got some people that we can definitely put out here. So I am going to put this in here. Let's see. There was 14 people, including Crazy Linda. So Crazy Linda, Pastor Elwood, Darnell Price. That leaves about 12 people, and one was a controlling sergeant. So 11 nameless NPCs. 11 nameless people that we will figure out stories for. Luke caught her with a male Pilates instructor, and it was only a week after that, after the wedding. Is that true? No, it is not, Chris. Come again. That was a fake question. I definitely was asking that. All right. So anyway, they do pack up and they do manage to make it to 5 miles in the direction. They got all the vehicles together. They got everyone they could. Luke is going to have to probably make a note of all the gas. They managed to get up and they go to this cabin, which is isolated in the woods. I'm going to roll for a location to see what it looks like. Inactive. Cramped. It's a small cabin. Oh my god, is it a 2-bedroom cabin? Oh, it's a 2-bedroom cabin. Oh lord. Wow. It's definitely cramped. So they make it to this small little cabin, and people are of course looking at it, and Karen is, of course, looking at everybody, and she's looking at it with disgust. She's like, what? Would you guys rather be out over there with tents and other types of campers? We could probably bring some of them over here. Was there campers in the other campsite? I'm going to say likely. There's always big campers and RVs. Exceptionally, yes. So they can definitely move some of those resources over to here. All right, so I guess at this point, they are going to set up for the day and get ready to rest for the night, and also probably bring some of the other campers, other stuff, and set up their camp. Which, if everybody pitches in, I think they could get it done in 24 hours. So, is it about noon? Is it noon or later? We're gonna say, because we were really just describing the morning. I haven't described it. Okay, it's noon. I didn't really describe how it went in. So yeah, by the time they got done, got there without any additional RVs, it's about 2:00 in the afternoon. So yeah, Luke will have to go back to the camp and definitely look at the other RVs. Sasha, of course, is looking at Jen and is wondering what is with the plan change. And Jen looks, she's like, I thought we were heading to Albuquerque. And Jennifer's like, well, right now we don't have a vehicle to get us there. And right now you are hurt, so this would give you time to rest before we make a move to Albuquerque to figure out what's going on there with the CDC. And I think that's a pretty reasonable assumption without a roll, but I am going to make Jen do a smooth talking roll, and I'm going to allow charisma to play a factor. I should allow attractiveness to play a factor too, but I don't know if Sasha goes that way. And we are going to say that is 3 levels of success. Let's find out. Does Sasha find Jen attractive? And I'm going to say it's likely because Jen is attractive. Let's see if we can get a love scene going, shall we? Maybe not today, but I mean in the future. No. Sasha does not find her attractive. So she's straight. Okay, awesome. I don't know. I think that could be like a willpower change. Let's see here. It'll be a willpower, smooth talking. I would even say seduction. And let's roll for charisma and see. And this is going to be on Sasha. It's going to be Sasha's willpower against her willpower. Oh, shit. There's Jen. All right. So 3 levels of success versus okay, and then that's going to get up to 5 levels of success, which gives a +4. So she's going to do a willpower roll instead of a fake question that allows odds. Let's do this. -4 on that. Willpower there. I'm going to probably say nerves of steel. Nah, that's like more for scary stuff. Let's see how this works. She does fail. She does fail. And let's see. She's going to spend 5 essence. One, two, three, four, 5. So that's 12. So Sasha is not sure how she feels right now, but she is looking at Jen towards help, as that she is. Would Sasha find attractive Luke, Lou, or someone else? That's actually the question. But right now, remember that the adventure is revolving around Jennifer and Sasha and Frank making it to help me out here. Making it to Albuquerque. But right now they're just outside of Sholo. We will leave a note that there is a connection between Jennifer and Sasha, but we'll leave it at that for right now. We won't say what that connection is. I think this will be a perfect time to end the... so we're going to take a minute, and we're going to actually end the game right here, end the session right here, as that is nearing ending of the day. And that they managed to at least get an RV or two there, probably with minimal gas. They managed to find places for everybody, so that way people can be safe for the night. So, definitely. Let's get ready to begin with a few things. So, I guess the main question is, at the end of this session, did the characters, many characters, or any characters, have control of each and every scene? Actually, they did this round. This round they did. So, I'm going to lower the chaos factor to chaos factor 3, so things aren't going to be so crazy. Maybe things are calming down for once. The one thing that we do know that is happening is, the characters don't know, but we do know that the rest of the world is somehow being affected. So we will actually have to figure out what's going on elsewhere, and we'll go from there. So Chaos Factor 3, and yeah. Let's see here. Did anyone... Alright, so I say everyone's going to be back to full resting. Let's see here. Let's do a quick medicine roll for Jen to see how well she's taking care of Frank, to see if we can give him a boost to his healing to help him bounce out quicker. And that is only 3 levels of success, so unfortunately no additional modifier. So he is going to go up by 2, and we are going to heal him completely in both endurance and essence. So he is above half health now, and he's no longer severely injured, so he is going to get ready to move around again. So that's excellent. Jennifer didn't lose any health. Well, she did a while ago, but we can put her back into full health because she only needs 1 rest a day, so there's that. Lou didn't lose any health. Luke didn't lose any health. And see, Sasha. Let's see here. Let's make sure. Let's do a medicine roll. She did take care of her before, but let's see how well she does keeping her hydrated and whatnot. All right. And that is 5 levels of success. So that is going to be a +1 multiplier. It's a multiplier, but it will go up at least by 1. So she is going to heal 3 instead of 2. So we are going to put her at 8 health now, which takes her out of severely injured. So she is beginning to bounce back. But we're going to give back her all of that and all of this. So awesome. We definitely got some notes to make, and we are going to make them. And so yeah, it looks like a team of people is coming together. So great. And we got Karen Holt and Crazy Linda's back, everybody. Who would have thought that would have happened? I actually did not see that coming. I did not see that coming at all. When I rolled Crazy Linda, I was happy. I wonder how the hell she got out of town without all those freaking walkers infecting grabbing her. She has been very good at evading the dead. Just out of freaking the blue, just out of the freaking blue. I know, right? Well, everybody, thank you guys for joining us. We are going to stop right here. You guys have a great and wonderful evening, and we'll try and do this again as soon as we can. If not a little bit later. You guys have a great and wonderful night.